So friends, I'm starting today one new chapter. We are in class 12th and the first chapter, first book, class 12th, first chapter, book 1, NPO. So um, it is also said not for profit organizations, not for profit organizations. So friends, what I'm going to cover here, I'll discuss all those things. So I shall cover here a few topics, and let's see what are those topics. I'll be discussing meaning and concept of NPO, meaning and concept of NPO. Second, I'll be discussing features of NPO. So this is one of the best theory questions where we like the now since we have certain one marker questions also, it comes in the form of definition other, so it would cover this also. Features of NPO. Next, friends, we'll discuss about the difference between NPO and profit making organization. Difference between NPO and profit making organizations. So I'll write an abbreviation. It is profit making organization. So please try and understand it because we have very less time. And we'll discuss how to make receipts and payment account, how to make receipts and payment account, income expenditure account, friend, income and expenditure account, income and expenditure account. We shall also discuss balance sheet. Since last year in 11th, you must have made balance sheet of only current year. But in case of NPO, in most of the questions, we are being told to make current year balance sheet as well as previous year balance sheet. Current year balance sheet as well as previous year balance sheet. So what is the idea behind making previous year balance sheet? The point is to make we need to make previous year balance sheet to find opening capital fund. Opening capital fund. I will say to find opening capital fund. Done. So we'll be doing these things, and generally what I can see about what are the examination format, and generally we need to understand, we need to do smart study. So as we are in 12th and we need to do, definitely we're going to get all the concepts of the chapter, but at this point of time I will say we need to do smart study. And what does smart study covers? Smart study covers, I'll be discussing in every chapter smart study concept. Generally we have three kinds of question in every chapter. That is one marker, that is one marker, that is three markers, and question for 6 marks. So one marker may generally you get definitions and sometimes numericals also. In 3 marker, friends, you get what? In 3 markers you get, again you'll get to calculate, to solve the fund accounting and their presentation. Fund will be doing subscription calculations. Will be doing cost of goods sold. And if you are very lucky, definitely you'll get receipts and payment account. I hope everyone is not, but sometimes we get receipts and payment account also. Receipts and payments accounts also. And in 6 mark, however, the board pattern is different than that of what you get in pre-board and in school. So in 6 marks you get questions relating to income expenditure only. Income expenditure, but I guess in pre-boards you'll be getting current year balance sheet as well as to make previous year balance sheet. So I believe this is what we are going to study in the smart study. So let's now cover about what to do. This was our class. This is like we are at class 1. This is our first class. So this is our first class. I'm sorry, actually the pen doesn't work sometime. My bad. This is our first class, class 1, and let's discuss all the other what the concepts what we'll be discussing with the other topic, please. So friends, um, we'll be discussing like what else. Like I told you, I'll be discussing what is the meaning of NPO. Look, I will say that what is NPO first of all. Let me arrange the settings of the paper. I'm not very used to the video format. So what is NPO? What does NPO organization start of? Why do they set up? Why do we set up NPO organization? Why do we set up NPO organization? Set up an NPO organization. First of all, let's see. We need to set up with the objective to further, like our objective is what? Our objective is to further. First of all, what are those further things? Cultural. We have to make cultural things. We open an NGO for to promote educational things. Like most of you can check your school must be under certain trust. That is also an NPO. Next, we make certain health things. That is also an NPO. Another part is religious and public services. Religious and public services. Public services. This is what why do we make an NPO? All right. So the like for example, we had the members of profit making organization, generally called shareholders. Here we can term them members only. So we have members. So the members objective is not, there's a different objective. Okay, they are not they are not set up with objective of profit earning, with objective of profit earning profit earning. So I find like the objectives of this is not to earn profit. So what kind of things, how do they run, what are the sources, they run? So the sources of funds we should be worried about, since it is not for profit making organization. Why would people invest money in that? Why would people, any people, no one, even I would not invest. So what are the sources of funds? First of all, sources of funds, let's see what are the sources of funds. First of all, we can check. We have donations. We receive donations. Later on we can understand donations are of two kinds. One is general, another is your specific. Another source of information, source of income is membership fee or entrance fee. Membership fee, membership fee or entrance fee, entrance fee. ठीक है. Next is your subscription. Next income is subscription. Next income is subscription. ठीक है. Next income is subscription. Another is your loans and grants. Like Sometimes we get loans from any other organization. Grant is something what we get from the government. Loans. And another is grants. Another is grants from government. Grants from government. Like certain health, some NGOs who are supporting the idea of eradicating polio from India. So that's why they get grants from the government to eradicate the polio. So they get grant to buy polio vaccine. So grants can be in general, or it can be um, grants from government. So grants can be in general and specific. General grants can be used for any purpose, but for specific grants that has to be used for the purpose which it was given by the government. So specific grants. I hope the terms are clear. You might understand what are the sources. Now, generally we talk about the features of NPO. What are the features of NPO? So I hope everything is fine. So I'm writing it. I'm doing it again. So I'll try to get you the notes in the form of your PDF and all. So I can send these notes to you. These are just a summary of the chapter which will help your time. To help you to reduce your time. So let's start at class 1 now. We'll be doing features of NPO. Okay, we'll be doing features of NPO. Let's say features of NPO. So I'll be discussing every point. What are the features of NPO? So first of all, we'll be telling you about that NPO is an entity. Now, what do you mean by entity? Entity means I want to talk about it has a separate legal entity. When I talk about entity, means it has a separate legal entity. Separate legal entity. So they are different from their members, right? They can be promoted by individuals or enterprises. They're different from their members. Another feature is like, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? The purpose is to you can say foster cultural, educational, religious. We have discussed formally. What is the purpose of an NGO? NPO, I'm sorry. Purpose is to foster cultural, foster it is like cultural, educational, religious purposes, etc. Religious, religious purposes, etc. So the next thing is ownership. Who owns NPO? Who owns NPO? Ownership. Who owns NPO? So it is set up as charitable society or trust. Thus, it is not owned by individual or group of individuals, but belongs to the society. So set up as charitable society or trust, charitable society or trust, society or trust, right? So what I would say that it does not belongs to any individual, hence not owned by any individual, any individual, any individual, that belongs to society, that belongs to society. Like there are many temples who are being registered as a trust that belongs to society. Next feature is what we are going to discuss is profit is not the objective. That's why we tell you name is name is apt, not for profit making organization. Profit is not the objective. Profit is not the objective. Not the objective. And the name is apt, it justifies, it is not being run for the profit motive. What does it earn? It earns surplus, and that surplus is necessary to maintain its operations. Definitely,